Nightjohn, Gary Paulson, Chapter 6. John, he went down for 3 nights. Mammy came up right away, but we greased and wrapped John's feet in rags. Mammy boiled in the pot for cooking food, and he stayed on his back. For the first night he was quiet and didn't say nothing. Just to lay and look at the ceiling night and day. Except to use a can Mammy put there for him to use. Second night he called me over to where he lay. What? I asked. H. What? That's the next letter. H. It sounds like he or huh. It's a funny letter because it doesn't make any difference how it stands. Goes up, goes down, doesn't matter. It's all the same. And he made the letter in the dirt. H. Mammy, she was in the other end, and she come walking down to us, and the young'uns were all out playing. Everybody else was in the fields. I thought she would roar at him, maybe gut him. But she smiled. Are you a little addled in the brain? She asked. He nodded on his side, laying like a broken dog. He smiled back. I don't get smarter, just older. You know what he'll do to you if he catches you teaching letters again. You ain't got so many more toes. 2 more nights and I'll be gone. On those feet? Well, yeah, on these feet. You'll bleed out. I know you were going. But why not wait a week? How did you know I was going? Well, you've always been going. When you came here, they brought you in the collar. You were born to leave. John's smile grew wider. You know we should have met in some other place. And some other time, Mammy said, snorting. I make 2 of yous, old enough to be your momo. John laughed, rolling deep sound. Maybe so, but that doesn't matter so much. Mammy, she went on, and he lay back, looked at me. Make the letter H, make the sound, then the letter. And when you get done, fetch me a piece of rawhide from the barn about so big, and he held his hands out. I need to make me some shoes. And in 2 nights, like he said, he's gone. He made the shoes out of rawhide, put rags around his toes, and on the night he used to leave, he made me frotch him lard and pepper. For's the dogs, he said. He rubbed the lard thick on the bottom of each shoe, wiped pepper in the lard, and stood there to leave. Throws their smell off to the side some. With everybody asleep, even Mammy, except me. I'll be back, he said. Got some things to do, but I'll be back. But I knew he was lying. Just being good, saying the good things to hear. He ain't coming back, I thought. Watched him leave, hobbling on them stiff shoes and sore feet covered with rags. Man gets out of here, I thought. He gets clean away again. Never come back here again. Never come back. Not unless them dogs catch him. Chapter 7. Wrong again. Only not right away. He made it clean away. Next day, Waller, he took the dogs and 2 field hands and his horse, set off swearing and stinking. 2 days gone by, and he come back and made a storm around the place, so we all knew John made it. He be gone. Mammy, she cried in a happy way, and I smiled some for a time and hoped him well, though he left me hanging. I had only the same letters as on both hands, an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. And I could write them and read them, and I took to making words in my head. I made hid and fib and jab and had and big. Other words, too, but I didn't dare write them in the dirt or catch me to make a tobacco pouch out of my hide. So I did them in my head, and I tried to see the words, see the letters. But summer went, and then we took into cropping, cotton and corn, and killing pigs came into the fall. I still tried to make the letters in my head and the words. But then my troubles came, and though I hid it, I knew they'd be finding out and send me to that breeding shed. I was in misery. Mammy, she worked to cheer me up, but it didn't do any good. I was feared and worried every day that I'd be found out. Then it come night and winter. Leaves are gone, pigs all killed, and hams hanging in the smokehouse, and I sat in the dark in the corner of the quarters, wishing I could go back a season when I didn't have the troubles. And I heard a sound next to me in the dark, and it was him. John, be right there, next to me. I'm on, he said. What? Follow me? We got to go so you can get back before first light. Go where? He smiled, took me by the hand, led me to the door. School. We got to go to school. Don't you want to learn the rest of them letters? Yeah, but... And we went. I was never off the place. Been only once to the fields where the corn and cotton grew. John, he took me across the fields, out in the other end of the thick trees, down into some brushy ditches along the river, and suddenly it stopped. It was pitch dark, any light from the stars couldn't get through the trees and the brush, and we stood there for 3 deep breaths. Then I smell it. Smoke. Faint smoke. And John, he led me down a ditch until we hit a wall of solid brush. The smoke smell was strong. Stink of pitch burning. John, he whistled like a catbird, and there was a rustle and brush, and then a slit of yellow light opened, and he pulled me inside the brush. There is light, bright yellow, from 3 pitch torches being held by 3 people. But there's more people there. Same as all on one hand, thumb, and one on the other. And they're all smiling at me, and I don't know any of them. But they're all smiling, and a short boy comes up to me. We're from over the hill at the Stankin' place. 2 from there, and the rest are from Placer's. Well, I didn't know nothing about those places, but I smiled back. You all know John from before? He nodded. He come at night, tell us to learn some letters, tells us to come here to school. I didn't know what a school was or what it was supposed to be. This is slats of brush dragged and pushed over a ditch, thicker and closed in on the ends. It'd be like a pit school. John, he moved to the end and held out one of the torches. In the other hand, he had a book. I'd seen a book. Saw one of the women at the White House looking at one once. This is a catalog. John held the book up. It's full of things you can send for and own if you have money. They use it all the time. Whites. You read it and it tells you things. It has pictures and writing to talk about the pictures. Each of you come up and see it. Be quick now. We only got a couple hours. I want to give you some letters. Sarnie, you know some of them. You can help. Well, everybody turned and looked at me. Well, I only know this many, and I held up my hands. Well, that's a good start. They don't know more than 1 or 2. So you help me until we get to know how many you know. Then we can all work together. And then we looked at the catalog, and I couldn't believe it. Here in the school, the pit school, covered over so the light wouldn't show out of the ditches from the torches, we looked at the catalog. All the things we don't have, dresses and shoes with buttons and little gloves and pretty hats and overalls, and I started crying, thinking of all the things and all the pretty things, and then I see it. Picture of a horse. Got a thing around his head for feeding him. Around his head, hanging over his nose, a bag. Says right there under the picture. There's other words, but right there it says to me, bag. I know this one. I pointed out the word to John. This one right here, it is bag. That's a bag on a horse's nose. And he laughed. Loved to laugh. Same deep black laugh like night thunder. Soon, Sarnie, soon we'll be able to read them all. All of you will. Let's start so we can get back. And we did. I took a stick, rubbed some dirt clean, drew the lines in the dirt for 3 of them to watch. A. Oh, sure feels good to write again. Lady come walking late in the night when they all in the White House are all asleep and we be asleep and nobody else can be knowing. Late when the moon is down and the stars are hiding in the clouds. Late when it isn't the day before and it doesn't seem like ever the new day will come. That lady come walking. In the night he come walking late in the night, and when he walks he leaves the tracks that we find in the soft dirt. Down by where the drive meets the road. In the soft warm dirt in the sun, we see his tracks with the middle toe missing on the left foot and the middle toe missing on the right, and we know it'd be Nightjohn. Lady come walking and nobody else knows. Nobody from the big house or the other big houses know, but we do. I know. Lady come walking and it'd be Nightjohn, and he brings us the way to know. The end. To Nightjohn by Gary Paulson. Hope you enjoyed the book as much as I enjoyed reading it to you.